All right, good evening, Coin Observatory. Good evening, world. What's going on Facebook? What's going on YouTube? Uh, it's been a hot minute since I've done one of these streams. And what's up, Hydro? Up on YouTube. It's been a little time since I've done one of these streams. We did have some technical difficulties with YouTube for some time. Got that resolved last week. We also had family in town, and I was entertaining my family, showing around Puerto Rico. That being said, we are back in full blast to our regular programming. I'm back. I'm alive, better than ever. All right. And yeah, so we're gonna kind of dive into the stream. I almost forgot how to do these, but I'm gonna cover BTC. I'm gonna cover Ether. I'm gonna go over some traditional markets, things I'm seeing in traditional markets. What we're seeing, like the S&P, odds of a recession. I'm not gonna go over the inversion, the yield inversion. You can Google that, and everybody's writing about that. We gotta look at some charts. All right, let's kind of dive into BTC. What we're seeing, what some possibilities on the daily. So daily chart, if we chart it on Wix, we get somewhat of a broadening wedge or a parallel channel, which I'm not a big fan of. If I do go down to candles, it changes the whole perspective, right? Because we know it's kind of broke that resistance that we had previously. It was an attempt to break out and it failed. And now, if I do go down to the candle wax, right, instead of the wicks, this looks like a descending broadening wedge with an attempted breakout. Even if I was to go up to here, it still looks like a descending broadening wedge with an attempted breakout, right? I'm a fan of this chart. I am. I like this setup. And one thing that's looking very tricky is moving averages right now on the daily. If we can get them to turn, if price can stay above or a nice little turquoise line, it's gonna be rather bullish for BTC, right? Every time we've seen that, we've not every time over here during the bear market, it was real tricky because this thing faked us out once, twice, 3, 4 times before, even 5 times, but we didn't get the other moving averages to break. My medium term is $2 away from my long term. So as long as price hangs out over here for a few days, if we can get up to 10.8 again, we're going to be good. It's going to be in good hands. Thank you, James. Guys, if you think we do a good job, smash that like button, drop us a comment, help us out with engagement. YouTube and Facebook don't really enjoy our content. The algorithms don't, so they tend to not send us a whole lot of views, not really give us any boosts. But we do tend to try to provide some pretty good analysis. All right, sticking to the chart. This is what I'm seeing on the daily chart. If I chart it on candles, and I like my descending broadening wedges with 5 touches, and we got 1, 2, 3, 4. We got 5 touches here, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I want to see a clean break. One thing that's looking tricky, if we run a harmonic scanner, we're looking at a bear crab, but I don't see a confirmation to trade that bear crab back down to 10,288. We also, at one point, we had a 9,400 target, so a potential revisit of 94. That being said, I think where we are now with price clearing my long-term moving average on the daily or attempting to close above, that's going to be the deciding factor, right, of our daily chart. Moving into the 4-hour chart, we got a clear move out of these moving averages. That white one's going to be critical, right? If we close above our white one, we're going to be good. I'm going to go ahead and clear these out, and I'm going to highlight something that I posted on Twitter and on our Facebook page. And I'm going to remove all indicators. I'm just going to go back to the daily chart. We're going to look at the 100-day moving average. And what's interesting about the 100-day moving average is that it has acted as support time and time again during shakeouts, right? Whenever BTC dips out of nowhere, when it did that in 2017 several times. I'm going to get out of the BitMEX chart. I'm going to go over a chart that's been trading for a little longer, something like Bitstamp. Can you guys see purple? Is that visible? I'll make it yellow just so it's more visible. Purple and black don't really have a lot of contrast. So doing that, and we see all these pullbacks to the 100-day moving average during a bull run, right, that result in a continuation. And here's one, right? Here's another one. Once we closed above, continuation. Here's another one. Kind of entered a little bit of a bear market, closed above, continuation, dip, and then a move up. And once we close below it, right, that's going to be your confirmation that it's time to go short, all in short, get some fiat off the table and so forth, and wait for signals to layer in. But going through 2017, we had 1, 2, 3, 4 pullbacks to the 100-day moving average. And it wasn't until we rejected here at 12K, 1194, that it turned bearish, right? That it turned like fully bearish. And that was a really clean-cut short signal. It was a few days ago, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days ago that I shared this chart. I said we're rejecting above that 100-day moving average is still acting as support. So the potential to get another up move is still there. Going off the BitMEX or the Bitstamp chart, I'm going to stick to candles once again. Wicks are extreme price action. All right, and I'm still seeing the same descending broadening wedge setup. The CME chart looks completely different, right? It looks like somewhat of a bull flag that's trying to break out, and we'll go over that shortly. We did see this Adam and Eve bottom, right? We signaled that for a pretty big up move. I think once we started chomping here, I said, guys, I'm going to close this position out. BTC was moving 8% a day up and down. And I'm glad we closed that position out, right? Closed 75% of that, and then I had to stop, got stopped out. And then, interestingly, I didn't call the short up here. I just didn't. I thought this pennant was going to break out. It didn't. Kind of tricked me. It fooled me. Fooled me once. Shame on me. Or shame on you. Fool me twice. Shame on me. Is that how it goes? Anyways, 2 days ago, I think it was Saturday, I signaled. It was a soft signal. It was in our BitMEX discussion channel. And I had a buy ladder at 101.30, 1066, and 99.80, right? And I had another bid at 99.70 that did not get filled. And we pretty much bought this dip. I bought this dip. I shared my entry with the VIPs. Today, we did another one of those, but this time it was an official signal because you guys were upset that I didn't tag everyone, make it like my usual calls. So we went ahead and did the opposite over here, and I signaled along. It was a market buy, and price was 10,618 with a stop below the wick. Right, so that one is currently in profit, and I'm expecting some upwards momentum. When alt season, I'll go over alts a little later. Van, sorry, just now catching up with everybody's comments on YouTube. I'm not using EMAs. I don't like EMAs, and I don't. Thanks, SA. I don't like EMAs a whole lot. I actually use simple moving averages, and I use weighted moving averages, like VWMAs, volume weighted moving averages, because it kind of tell you what volume is doing. Is this another descending broadening wedge that's gonna mess us up? Like we saw several in this range, right? We saw several of these break out. We saw this one fail. We saw this one fail. Could be. But I want to see a revisit of previous high. Interestingly, ETH is doing something similar, and ETH has kind of been affecting BTC. When ETH sells off, BTC sells off along with it. We've noticed that because we do trade both charts, and ETH is holding up just barely above, I don't know if I want to call it a wedge or not, this channel, right? It's looking like a falling wedge, just a really slight angle to it. Now, if we can turn here, if ETH can turn here for a continuation, it's gonna look pretty on for bulls on both sides, on both Ether and BTC. We can expect for both of them to make the big leg up. But if ETH fails through this support, back into here, it's not going to be pretty for anybody except for bears. So that's one thing I'm keeping my eye on. If this fails, then I'll probably take that hedge and trade this bearish crab down to 10,288. Right, that's going to be the plan right now, since we're kind of getting confirmations from both charts. Going over the ETH USD, it did post somewhat of a bearish crab as well, and it's pulling back, but it's pulling back in a very much of a falling wedge pattern, and those typically break up. All right, so for now, let's keep eyes on ETH and see how that's gonna flip, and if it flips bullish and we see support come in here and rally ETH up, the wedge target maybe 3.7, 3.8%. All right, so that's gonna put ETH pretty much right where it dumped from, or a little lower, 3.379. So back at $203. Anyways, back to BTC. All right, I was really thinking this was a liquidity grab, and that's why instead of saying sell out or short down here, this bear flag, even though because charts were giving us mixed signals, right? However you charted this, you either got a bear flag or you got a bullish ascending triangle, right? If you did this, if you're this guy, then your chart is somewhat bullish. Your chart is very bullish, right? And you got an ascending triangle and you traded the break, right? But if you did this, then you would have shorted. You should have shorted. And I didn't want to take that flag because of the support, the 100-day moving average, right? So if this was our bear flag, this should have been the short for a way lower target. And I posted both scenarios, did not trade the bearish one, and said, bought the dip, and bought the dip today. And that's going to be, that last high, that previous high is going to be a very interesting point. That's where I'm going to look to either hedge, take profit, or let the chart run, let the chart do its thing. And before I fold this over, another confirmation that I got that we were potentially going bullish during that dip, during that liquidity grab, was an MDRP, right? On RSI, where the 12-hour RSI found support at its trend line, right? I highlighted this, and it actually played out. We were worried that it wasn't going to, but it did. And that waited 2 days later, or a day later, to pick up the long entry, right? You don't just want to trade these without a confirmation. I wanted RSI to turn up and, chart to give me an entry on a dip. And it looks like Ether is headed up for now. I'm seeing a little bit of green on the Ether chart, right? So it's probably a about a dip type of thing. And hopefully this plays out. If we get that 3% move up, I think BTC is going to make that move up as well. And I'm not going to say it's going to take out that 10,968 mark. Could be. Kevin, send it. Is that BTFD? It's not. So what we're going to do is I'm going to remove all indicators again. I'm going to throw on my BTFD indicator because I do think we're getting close to it. Now, this one's public, right? Anybody wants to use it. If everybody wants to use it. What's going on, Adam? 2019 Bitcoin BTFD bans by myself. 92 likes. Whoa, that's not what we're trying to do. All right. Now, this works on the hourly chart. And guys, oh my God, we should have been checking this whole time. Guess what? We're getting a close above our BTFD, and ironically, our long entry was that rejection today above it. Last time we chopped below, things got ugly, right? That's where I kind of started losing confidence in the trade. And then I saw what looked like a descending triangle, and I was getting ready to to pretty much fiat everything, short the crap out of BTC until we got that bullish break and we issued the long signal for a 1700% ROE on cross, right? So I saw this. It was below that BTFD indicator. So we've chopped through it a couple of times, right? So, and we broke out. And I think this is where we got our entry right here, that move above for a sell up here. Anyways, so this indicator has been holding up BTC for the entire run. Anytime we closed above it, buying it was a good entry. Except for here. Now we're testing it from the downside. If we stay above it, it's going to be great. Way to bring that up, Kevin. Thank you. What's the 720 time frame on TradingView? That's a 12-hour chart. Yeah, it's a 12-hour chart. It's like half a day. All right, guys. Who's got questions? BTC, Ether. Show me some questions about the chart. I am here to answer them. I think if I do 12H, it still does 720 for me. But I promise you, if you divide 720 by 24, it should come out to 12. What do we got? Awesome. All right. You guys got questions? You want me to go over dominance? Let's do that. Actually, before we dive into that, I want to look at some really interesting factors. We do know that we're running somewhat of an inverse correlation with the stock market. So I'm going to start with ES1, which is the S&P futures chart. Some of the guys in our Legacy Markets channel where we short and long the stock market via options, which is kind of like leverage. We had some calls up. Let's go back to the SPY just because we're trading that chart. All right, we had some calls open for 292. And yesterday, I spotted a divergence on the hourly with a failure swing that played out today. And when it was at 292 yesterday, I said, guys, it's time to take profit on those. I am currently net short. All right, so we go to the hourly time frame. We did have a divergent high, right? Where the chart made a lower high and RSI made a higher high. We kind of saw this pullback coming. I posted, I said, hey, take profit at 292 while it's in the money on these options. Because if it goes down, it's going to be worthless. I'll go back to the ES1 since we covered the price target. What is the S&P futures chart telling me? We're not quite seeing a divergence yet. There's no MDRP here. Let me go to the 4-hour. We had a daily divergence, right? This low and this previous low on the daily, it's looking like it wants to break above. It could. Just kind of putting some trend lines on RSI. I'm not a fan of it. I'm gonna put some moving averages on here. And they're starting to break down, right? When we see these crosses to the downside come in, it's not looking good. I really compared this area to this area, except for we're kind of winding a lot harder. Now we could potentially see, right? It's doing a right now. It's just going to call it a symmetrical triangle, and I'm only going to stick to candles here. If it does this triangle, it could go either way. I was telling the guys that I had bearish targets below. I think let me pull it up. Well, it's going to be a ways in the chat. I'm not going to go over all that. We're definitely in a chop zone, right? The Dow, DIA. got hammered, and it's looking bearish, right? It's not looking as pretty as the S&P. 240. Just did this gap fill, so we could have a turning day tomorrow. But moving averages on the daily, they're all starting to cross to the downside. Yeah, I think it's time. I think it's time for another one of these big dips. Usually we see a couple of bounces and a dip, right? A couple of bounces and a dip, and we haven't seen that extreme sell-off since here. And all these gaps have filled. All these gaps have filled. All the overhead ones have, and now it's time for the market to start pricing in what's coming next. So when you use candles versus wicks, longer time frames, I like to use candles because the difference is wicks are a rejection, right? So in my mind, if price got rejected at a certain price target or a certain price, then it's not really involved in the daily chart. Right, I use wicks when I'm coming into these smaller time frames. When I come into a smaller time frame, like something like Ether on the 15-minute, right, that's going to give you some accuracy of where you should expect to turn. Because if I had this chart earlier set up like this, right, stuck to candles, and this candle was starting to get down in the zone. I was like, okay, well, yeah, I'm not trying to be biased here. What if my chart's too tight, right? What if my lines are too tight because I am using candles on a smaller time frame? It's going to give us the smaller details. And on a daily chart, we're not looking for smaller details. We're looking for the big picture. I thought he was speaking tomorrow or on Friday. Powell is very interesting because he does not care what the president thinks. He does not care to satisfy anybody. He's not a people pleaser, right? And that's why I like him. He's gonna do what the market needs. Which if it needs to correct, he's gonna let it correct. He's not gonna just keep slashing rates like Trump wants. One thing that I am long on is silver. And it's starting to look divergent. I do think, however, let me see if I'm being biased. I'm getting a little bit of an RSI rejection on the daily, so we'll kind of wait this out for tomorrow. And if it doesn't start breaking out to the upside, I'll probably pull out of my calls out of that position. Going over the 12-hour. 12 hours got some support, right? The daily looks like it's snacked already. 12 hours got a little bit of support, but it is divergent. One thing we know about the stock market, it can do divergent highs for days and keep moving up. And with all these shorts piling in, you could probably see another squeeze up to like 17.7 before it moved down. I'm going to go side by side, S&P and BTC. Yep, I agree. I like candles more. So going over XBT and the ES, it's starting to come down below my moving average. Ether is still coming down, trying to 720. That swing high, swing low correlation is almost not there anymore, or is it? Let me kind of drop some lines. Because if one market breaks up, the other is, if we're still running that inverse correlation, it might break down. Right here we had a swing low on on the S&P, 2778. BTC had a swing high at 12.3. And since then, the S&P is consolidated up, right? And BTC is consolidated down. So we're still in that inverse volatility correlation that I had mentioned, right? But if this thing continues to break down, then we're likely to see a break up over here. So it's probably a good idea to trade both markets. You can hedge one market against the other. Just kind of diversify your portfolio. Because if this does go for a blow off top, it's going to get really good for bulls. And if this dumps, it's going to be really good for bears. Both markets are acting really volatile, and volatility is where money is made. Looks like ETH is trying to break back down again. And I'm going to stop looking at these charts and look at what about DXY and XBT last 8 weeks, any correlation. You know, Kevin, you've been tracking that more than I have. You sent me that chart, and I haven't done as much homework on it as I should have. Have been entertaining my family. I should have done more homework on that chart because I can't answer that question, but we will pull up the chart and we'll look at it in real time, right? So we're still not completely inside, right? We haven't completely gotten tore up yet, but we could see another pullback. All right, going over the DXY BTC. That's a BitMEX wick, man. You see that? You guys see that? I've been staying away from DXY because that's just one chart that you've traded better than I have, right? And I can't really just get a dial on this thing. It is just manipulation of the value of the dollar by the Fed. We are in a currency war with every other country out there, with China, with Europe. It's just not pretty. Now you see this inverse head and shoulders here. That's one thing I'll show you that I see that I don't see on BTC. But there's a swing high and there's a swing low and there's a swing low. So let me pick those out just in terms of general answer to your question. Oh, look at that. These swings line up. Interesting. You guys see that? The swing high of, drop another vertical line, of July 26th coincides with a swing low over here. What about our next swing low? It comes out with a bull flag, but we did break up, broke up. I'm going to say there is correlation, just not as strong, my man. What about that swing high? We're already in an up move on this swing high. Now, interestingly, on the 12-hour, I think we're going to see a breakdown here. There's a bullish div here. I don't like trading the dollar index. All right, I've seen these formations. This is going to be a somewhat of a bearish triangle, just reverse, right? And I tried the neck down here, and somebody pulled up and decided to manipulate it back up, right? We're in a currency war, so that's what I'm seeing on the DXY. Can be. What time frame on the daily? You're talking about, I mean, I see a failure swing up here. I don't see the div. Oh, you're talking about this one right here, the hidden. Yeah, okay, I see what you're talking about. But is it a hidden? This high's higher than this high. And ETH looks like it is trying to break down. We're back inside the wedge, right? So at this point, BTC's likely going to follow suit. Quite a bit of MA support here, so it's gonna get interesting. You go in like a daily time frame. So another interesting thing about Ether is that it pulled back 61.8%, right, of this big entire yearly move. So theoretically, it should hold down here. It should if it comes back down, retest 180, I will buy the heck out of that 180. All right, fam. Let's go over some dominance metrics, Bitcoin dominance. So we've seen this massive wedge, right, that everybody was talking about. BTC broke below it, now it's pushing back in. It's actually still in that rising wedge. And that's why I've been really using off alts. I'm putting out like 1 to 2 signals a week on alts. I just don't think they're ready yet. I think Ether's likely to take out this bottom and drop down. No. What was that long that I had going? Am I? I mean, it's divergent on the daily, but it's still going. Actually, it's not quite, so 120. I don't see divergence on the 2 hour. You got a little bit of a higher high, now a higher high, coming back up. All right, going over others dominance, others.d. I'll go over EOSCSD and take some altcoin suggestions. Others.d. Oh my god, I got a big gap down on the 2 hour. Officially at the April 2017 low. Right, and then others really went for a surge, so I think it's almost time for alts. It's almost time for alts. The other day, they all bounced at the same time. Bitcoin bounced and alts bounced at the same time, just like 2 days ago over the weekend. So that's also a possibility, right? We might see that possibility play out, where we do see a little bit of a relief rally. They could sure use a 30-day relief rally. It's a known thing in markets. We've seen that play out time and time again during the bear market. That's what a lot of those up and down waves were. EOS USD. I'm not holding any EOS. I don't know, man. Looks pretty bearish. If an altcoin's not outperforming BTC, you might as well stay in BTC. That's my perspective. Right, and we're gonna get a way cleaner chart if you look at the BTC chart. There is 2-3 divergences. I just like, you can try to trade these divergences. You're not gonna get a full-blown reversal. What, like, one chart that's really interesting that opened a small position in today was Ether Classic BTC. All right, you might say, hey, but you FOMO'd, man. I did not. I saw this bull flag sign up this morning. And I took a small log and I figured I'd monitor it and see what happens. And then I had a busy day. I should have signaled this step down here. But we're seeing somewhat of like maybe a 2 bull drives. Maybe we get a third one. But ours saw look good. It did this pennant. I'm not up a whole lot. I mean, it's not too late to hop in on this. 5% in crypto is for a blind person, right? So like this chart's looking good. All right, we see a couple of bullish engulfing candles. Possibly the second daily bullish engulfing candle. Right? If this goes out and up again. And then RSI did a failure swing already. And it didn't move up, and now it just did another bullish engulf. And daily RSI is above 57. Or 54.7. That's pretty good. All right, guys. Any more altcoin suggestions? I'm taking a hedge. September 27th. Futures equal size to my long, just in case BTC decides to follow Ether, because Ether is coming down pretty hard. Stop's going to be at previous high. Just issued that. Right up here. So my stop's going to be 108, 10846. Might be a FOMO hedge, but I'd rather not lose the 333% I'm up. Call it an emergency insurance fund. A lot of these dips have gotten bought up, right, with a bullish engulf, but you can't trust these charts right now. All right, going over Link, Raven, Bat, and NRG. So signaled Link the other day. I said I was adding up here, over here. All right, I'm still long on Link. I do see the potential for this. So if BTC comes down, Link should break back up. It never reached our head and shoulders target. Inverse head and shoulders target, which was 17%, right? I mean, that's if you're not being generous. 16, yeah, some 17% to the upside. We did not quite make it up there. All right, so I think we're gonna make another move up there. Link likes to do these sell-offs before it does any kind of up motion, right? It kind of does a flag, false break, comes down, shakes you out, pumps again, dumps, pumps again, dumps, and then it goes for a leg up. So I think we see one of these consolidation patterns. It's going to end up turning around violently. RSI is kind of starting to wedge. And ETH's turn. All right. RVN. My last long on Raven got stopped. I'm going to wait before I pounce back on it. I do think this is going to be the verge of 2019, right? What Verge made like 5,000% 2017, right? So you're seeing divergent low, another divergent low, some failure swings. Intraday, what do I see? I just see chop. I want to see another formation here before I hop back in. All right, like this was a decent looking formation. It failed, so I want to see another formation. Basic attention token. Divergent, don't see a formation. I'm out. Last time we traded it, I was here. We're here, all right? And you trail your stop. We trailed our stop. This was being traded on our bot. And I think that was last time we traded it. Stopped out, and now it's coming back down. Starting to go sideways, though. No formation, no upwards momentum. Not in. Personally. NRG USD not on my trading view. I can't find it. Sorry. I'll go over BNB and GIO. Oh, Binance coin. So another rounding top, right? That's not a very good indication. It's not doing something like I thought it would be doing, where like we get a clear MDRP or some kind of signal on RSI, where we break a trend line. Yeah, no. Too soon. Now, one thing that's really interesting, right? If you guys remember, BTC was kind of rubbing shoulders at that 13K mark. I put up my Ichimoku cloud, and I said, hey guys, is this a C-clamp? Some of you guys weren't not familiar, but some of the guys in Tesla Crypto, which is our free channel, were like, what do you mean? What is a C-clamp? What are you trying to say? And I can go in a 4-hour chart. I'm going to kind of go over that real quick. So this is our early detection cloud, which detects things early. That's why it's called a detection cloud. We had seen the C-clamp happen up here, and we did see the sell-off take place. And the reason I signaled this long, and I had our lowest bids at 99.70, was because of the cloud, right? And this is not my edge. I'm not a cloud trader, but I know how to read a cloud. And since this C-clamp was a bearish signal, this bullish C-clamp, when we were down here, I said, hey guys, things looking up. And we did see this sell-off happen, and we decided to buy the conversion line, or the Tenkan, the green line, for this up move. And that's the 4-hour. I'm going to check on the hourly early detection cloud. It looks like we should see some support, right? The cloud is fairly thick, and it's not real thin. And then if you go to like the 720, we rejected at the TK cross. We're still holding inside the cloud. If you go to our standard cloud, we broke through the Kumo twist. Sorry, Kumo twist. What I meant to say. We've got another twist up here. So these are potential turning points, right? The daily, we're in the green Kumo, and I'm seeing a potential C clamp up here, but with the TK cross being below, we could come back down. Lots of chop. GIO. Where's this coin being traded, man? Can't find it. Algo. Is this one of the new coins that's been ripping? No, it's not. Was it ERD or one of the new Binance coins is just ripping? I don't know, Hydro. I'd wait for like a pennant. I'd wait for some kind of real deal formation. I'm not a fan of like just alt shopping right now because they have been in a really sharp downtrend. All right, that about wraps up today, guys. In the video description, we got links to VIP subscription giveaway. We're gonna give away 2 subscriptions. All you gotta do is fill out a quick survey, your email contact, your email, and your first name, last name, where you live, and what you are in Coin Observatory. Whether you're a free VIP, you're free in our free Discord, whether you're a VIP, or you just heard about us for the first time. So fill that out and get into the drawing. We're going to announce the drawing, I think, next week. And we're giving away 2 1-month free VIP subscriptions. And you can either opt in our newsletter or not. And we're not going to email you anything from our newsletter if you don't opt into it, right? We're not going to do that too. We're not going to spam you. We send out newsletters once a week. We haven't sent one out in 2 weeks. So expect one this week. Other than that, I think I'm going to wrap it up for tonight. Thank you all for tuning in. Smash that like button. Share this video, and I'll catch you guys on Discord. Click that link, hop into Discord. We'll catch you there. Thanks for tuning in.